If you are a newer, less experienced, or even an advanced Apex player, one thing that is often overlooked is going to be your team composition or your legend combos. Your individual Apex skill is still paramount, but sometimes grabbing those Ws or dropping those Ls extends beyond yourself. I personally want to help make you a better player, and even better, it is with the sponsor of today's video. Outplayed is the definitive way for you to automatically capture your gameplay. It's mega simple. All you need to do is download the app and then select the games you wish for it to record from its massive 300+ game library. After you select your desired quality, you just play the game and the app works in the background, clipping all of your highlighted moments. Then you can instantly share your highlights to your favorite socials. The app even takes out all the hassle of downloading extra video editing software, as you can just edit your clips right in the app. And if this was not enough, Outplayed has the full customization to select exactly what you want the game to record, from your wins, your kills, your assists, times you died, and a lot more. For at least the next month, I personally will be giving tips, advice, or just checking out your clips, so be sure to share them in my Discord or at me on Twitter. Super excited for all of you to try this one out. Click that link down in the description and in the pinned comment for more. Creating your team composition and excelling is all about understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, and your overall playstyle. One style that a lot of people are looking to achieve is the TTV, YT, FBGG, Sweaty Kill Squad. Of course, there's more than just this though. The ultimate kill squad consists of Horizon, Pathfinder, and Valkyrie. This playstyle is kind of self-explanatory: kill the entire server. That being said, the squad synergy between these three legends is also very good. Horizon works quite well as an opening legend and a point person, as her lift can be great to get the team up into battle, and her black hole can also be solid to cause initial confusion when you are trying to make that initial push. Both Valkyrie and Pathfinder I consider to be the backup legends who are there to swoop in and clean things up if your initial assault does not eliminate your enemies. Pathfinder's grapple is great to close the gap of enemies running away or get alternate angles, and Valkyrie is a pretty similar legend with this as well. In addition to this killing potential, both Path and Valkyrie are pretty great rotation legends, but the real power does fall to Valkyrie's hands. She obviously can get the team around larger distances to keep the action going, and if for some reason you are still waiting on that ultimate, you do have Pathfinder to swoop in and continue to move things along. Weaponry here is pretty negligible. Anything like an assault rifle or an SMG is of course going to work well. If you are pubbing, which is what the squad is more designed around, then you really don't need to worry about range. If you are ranking, I'd probably give something like a 30-30 repeater or a longbow sniper to Valk, so she can get height more easily with her jetpack and just poke enemies. The No Time Squad, or the squad that I think is the squad to grab if you and the buddies are not only looking for a good time, but are also looking to build your skills in Apex. This consists of Loba, Octane, and once again, Valkyrie. The main goal here is to really make sure you have the minimal amount of downtime as possible. I've said it time and time again, one of the best ways to improve in Apex is to get as many gunfights in there as possible, and any time outside of this, you really aren't improving beyond just understanding ring rotations. Valkyrie is gonna help you get from fight to fight faster, which is nothing new, but it also means you're gonna have an extra 2 to 3 fights a game that you probably wouldn't have had without her. Something most players spend a ton of time on though is gonna be looting, and if there's one way to kill your game, not just in terms of kills per game, but also skill building, it's over looting. Loba dramatically speeds this up, not only off of the spawn, but throughout the entire match. On the other hand, Octane fits the role much like Pathfinder, where you're going to be able to rotate a little bit more often with his pad. All these legends are also pretty easy to use, which means you can focus on the number one thing, your gunplay. Octane will more than likely stim his way to the front of the line, as we have seen our randoms doing oh so often, and Valkyrie will be there to support the team as well. Weaponry, again, does not matter much for pubs, but one thing that you may want to utilize for ranked is a long-range weapon, and I'd absolutely give this to Loba, as she has those easy ammo pulls from her black market whenever she wants. Bloodhound, Seer, and Ashe are here to stay for those looking not only for a simple experience, but also a very effective one. I'll start off by saying that you could swap for Ashe for Bangler to get that smoke and scan combo, but that's a pretty obvious combo, and I don't think it needs highlighting. This time we are specifically grabbing Ashe, and it's for a few reasons. In this squad, for me, Ashe is the point leader, and generally, this is because of her passive and ultimate abilities. This squad, though, is the ultimate tracking squad, as Ashe can locate where people are dying on the minimap, and then the team can rotate around to those specific areas to take some fights. I know Crypto might have something to say about this team, but this squad is truly about finding the action and then capitalizing on it. Once you find the the fight, you have Ashe with her ultimate to port into battle with both Seer and Bloodhound there to scan enemies and keep them revealed. Comboing both of their scans, you can keep someone revealed for about 10 seconds, which is pretty busted. And this can be extended even longer if you are using Seer's ultimate or Bloodhound's ultimate. I'll also say that Bloodhound is second in line to keep the action flowing, while Seer's there to really turn the tide, and he's more of an anti-third party or an anti-rat legend with his passive and ultimate ability. Weaponry does not matter much for pubs, again, but you could have an emphasis on mid-range, like a 30-30, so you could get some big damage in there, or a pick, and then port in with Ashe and spray enemies down with something like an SMG or a shotgun. This is a really great squad if you are struggling with some game sense and awareness, or if you are having a hard time finding fights on a big map like Stormpoint. Everyone wants to get that 4K damage badge, and our next squad is going to help you do this. Rampart, Fuse, and Loba are here to get you more damage and even more kills. This generally is going to involve a slower type of playstyle, so this squad may not be for everyone, but if you are playing with this team appropriately, it can actually be a lot of fun. The legend who will have the best chance at getting bigger damage games is actually going to be Fuse in this team. This mainly comes down to him being able to farm a ton of damage with his knuckle clusters, while also being greatly enhanced by both Loba and Rampart. Loba will help you get ammo, which is absolutely a must if you are not playing as mobile, and Rampart will come in clutch with her amped walls to increase your damage output by 20%, which is a pretty big deal. There's not a ton to say about this team. Get a position of high or in some sort of dominant choke point and just tap everyone you see. Be sure to not forget to finish off knocked enemies to get that free 100 damage boost, because it does add to your counter. Weaponry here matters more than most of the squads we are going to talk about, but it's the same whether you are rocking ranked or if you are pubbing. And this is a big emphasis on certain weapons like the 30-30, longbow, bow check, or even ripping the 301 with the flatline. This squad is incredible for ranked due to its slower nature and the ability to keep enemies away from you. A big warning is that you really do not want to get over complacent, as you will more or less just be sitting around and doing nothing, and that's really not too much fun. Don't be afraid to reposition and keep some sense of pressure on those that are around you. Our next squad is definitely one for the pubbers out there, and a ton of laughs, but it actually has a lot of viability outside of it being just a troll combo. Mirage, Octane, and Revenant may seem like the toxic team to rule them all, but it's too fun to not recommend from time to time. I'll start by saying that you could swap Mirage for Fuse, as Fuse's clusters are a little bit more viable because they can't help enemies scatter as you are Rev Ultimate and Octane padding onto them, but that's not quite as fun. Another slight swap could be Mirage for Crypto if you do want to get some bonus damage while you are in the Revtane as well. All that to the side though, this combo is really about making the most of both Octane's ultimate and Revenant's ultimate to get some nice squad wipes. The point person in this scenario is Octane with their natural speed, while both Revenant and Mirage are pretty solid secondary Soul Legends through Revenant's passive climbing and Mirage's ultimate to create some confusion. There is something oddly satisfying by comboing all of these ultimates together and literally just making it rain down Mirage decoys as you are Revtane padding through the air. This combo is not a ranked squad, but for pubs, you will still want to emphasize close range and fast time to kill weapons so you can land on enemies and get them down real fast. This combo is not about taking Apex too seriously, and if you want a mental reset, I find this to be a pretty good way to do it. We've got some great ranked combos to highlight, but if you are struggling to find a dedicated ranked squad or you hate playing with randoms, as you should, then hop into our community Discord to find nearly 12,000 other players to squad up with. The Fortress or Impenetrable Wall is up, and this is an incredible ranked squad who consists of Rampart, Caustic, and Wattson. This team not only is great at making an area highly defensible, but it also has some great aggressive playmaking in there, as all three of these legends can be used in that way as well, even if it's not what they're known for. The playstyle is definitely on the slower side of things, or at least more methodical, but it definitely comes down to the individual team and the individual player. Caustic is probably the point leader in this scenario, where his gas ultimate can be really good to get players to move or start off an engagement, whereas Rampart and Wattson can use their abilities to block off and trap areas and keep players contained to one area while you chip away at them and eventually get them down. I choose Wattson specifically for this team because she actually has some team support in there with her ultimate generator, which can be used to heal up the squad and just stop that third party grenades and other ultimates from coming in. Much like the damage farming squad, an emphasis on your positioning is a must with this team. Buildings are the best thing going for you with this team, and so are areas of high ground or choke points. And as for the weaponry, I think a mix of mid to long range, again like a longbow with an SMG, is a very good thing to have, so you can be a very hybrid player that is not locked into long range play or defensive play. This team is definitely all about understanding what you want to achieve, and generally it's going to be living longer, getting better placement, and gaining more RP. Wraith, Seer, and Mad Maggie are the confident squad, who is the squad I like to roll with in ranked if I feel pretty aggressive in my team's playstyle, or if I am just really looking to take enemies by surprise. We've talked about Seer quite a bit already, but he is really the support legend here who is creating avenues of attack through the scans, or keeping an eye on who around you, which is very important in ranked. Wraith in this squad is my leader to find teams and be able to scout around and have some sort of safety to retreat through either that tactical or that ultimate portal. That being said, I do somewhat give Mad Maggie an upper level role too, as well, as her ultimate can be an okay way to attack enemies with those speed nodes that do get placed down. Communication in this team is going to be absolutely vital, and if done right, you can coordinate a Seer tactical to reveal enemies, follow up with a Mad Maggie tactical drill to force movement or at least some pressure. This team is definitely on the aggressive side, so rocking typical meta guns like the 301, Flatline, Car, Wingman are all going to be really great choices. It does not really seem like it on paper, but this team has a fair amount of recon power through Wraith's ability to scout around and her passive ability, and Mad Maggie's ability to temporarily reveal and show enemies on scan when she does damage them. And of course, Seer is Seer. If you are in a lower rank or if it's a new rank split, this is a great team to build up some confidence and some skill. Girth Squad. Caustic, Gibeon, Newcastle are up, and this is more than just a meme, as this squad is a pretty incredible rank squad with a lot of power for fighting. Movement will be tough, but even Newcastle has a little bit movement in there with his ulti, and both Caustic and Gibraltar's abilities can be used to help you move around, so don't fret with this too much. This squad pretty much takes bullet sponging to another level, and the combined fortification, abilities, and health benefits all three of these legends have will make you a pretty tough target for anyone to take down. Newcastle, for me, is the point legend in this team, as his tactical shield and fortification ultimate are pretty solid ways to move around, whereas Gibraltar's dome is going to help as well. The playstyle for these guys is pretty aggressive, to be honest, as their abilities are pretty clutch in playmaking, but they are also very good at slowing things down, which gives this squad a lot of hybrid power and flexibility to play the way you want to play or the way the counter is suggesting. Weaponry for this team does not matter much, but again, typical 301R SMG meta will be preferred. The biggest thing with the squad is that teamwork is truly important, and you're going to want to use your abilities and coordinate as best as you can to keep everyone alive, and so your abilities are not all on cooldown at the same time. The next one is specifically for you newer or less experienced players who are looking for rank success at the cost of pretty much having to do the minimum amount of thinking possible. Bloodhound, Lifeline, and Bangalore are here for your easy RP gains. This squad is all about putting Apex Legends' crazy movement and out-of-the-box thinking aside, and really just running with a team that is simple and effective. Bangalore for this team is the point person, as their smokes and general kit of abilities are great to open engagements, and really Bangalore is just the legend who can kind of do it all. Bloodhound comboing their scans with Bangalore smokes makes for wall hacks, and it's a deadly combo that to this day is really great to run. Lifeline, of course, is the legend you'll want to run with the squad to get them back up from the brink of death, and Lifeline is also pretty solid right now for general team healing and aggressive playmaking while putting down that drone. And if you are struggling to get loot, you do have Lifeline's care package as well, and that is going to help you out there. The one issue I will say that the squad is going to have, that once you are out of gold and maybe out of platinum into diamond, you really are going to have to switch it up, as the squad is just a little too simple, and you may want to gravitate to some other power legends like Horizon or Valkyrie. Weaponry for this team does not matter, as the playstyle is really free-flowing and you can play however you wish. Just remember, keep things simple. If you are enjoying the video, or if you just want to support me, do me a huge favor, hit that like button. I appreciate the support. Next is the RP Gainer Squad, and if you want a ranked squad that is a top tier combination for getting ranked gains, then Valkyrie, Horizon, and a legend we haven't really talked about yet, Crypto, is going to be it. Of course, you can swap out Crypto for something more conventional like a Bloodhound or a Seer, but that's kind of linear, and it's something that most people already kind of understand, and I think Crypto has a lot of viability that many are not really understanding or are sleeping on it a little bit. Crypto did get a little notoriety in the most recent ALGS finals because he did actually have like a 15% pick rate, and some of this absolutely does translate to rank. In a ranked environment, Crypto is actually very viable, where you have time to get into the drone and you're a little bit more flexible, and this is even more so if you are in higher ranks. Being able to remotely pick up cards or revive players is also a huge perk in itself, but also just being able to see who is around on those banners is a great way to tell your power legends, Valkyrie and Horizon, that we can take this fight without an immediate third party. Crypto is not easy though, and your teammates are going going to have to be a little bit patient with you, and it's definitely going to require a slightly unconventional playstyle, but it's definitely worth a shot, and don't sleep on it. Much like we previously mentioned in another combo, Horizon's kind of the point person for me, and Valkyrie's there for general support from rotations and playmaking. If you want to truly outsmart your opponents, it kind of comes down to knowing how to counter them and their abilities. So check out this video here, one secret tip to counter every legend. Happy gaming.